Poetry. The Little Busy Bee. Isaac Watts. C1. Answer the following questions. Share your responses with others. Question 1. Who is the poet speaking about? Answer. The poet was speaking about the busy bee. Question 2. Why does the bee sit on the flower? Answer. The bee sits on the flower to collect nectar, and afterward the nectar changes into sweet honey. Question 3. How does the bee build her cell? Answer. The bees are very clever and build the hive cell by using wax which secretes from its body. The cells are uniform and beautiful. Bees build it skillfully. Question 4. I would be busy too. Who does I refer to? Answer. Here I refer to the poet himself. Board exam study materials. Online educational courses. Question 5. What does sweet food mean in the context? Answer. In the context, the sweet food means honey. Question 6. Who does Satan manage to work through? Answer. Satan manages to work through idle people and bring about destruction. C2. Pick out the best alternative for each of the following statements. Question 1. People like the bee because A. It is clever. B. It sits on the opening flower. C. It works hard. D. They get honey from it. Answer. D. They get honey from it. Question 2. And labors hard to store it well. Here it refers to A. The bee. B. The honey. C. The wax. D. The flower. Answer. B. The honey. Read and write. C3. Read and discuss your responses with your partner. Then write. Question 1. Why does the poet call the bee busy? Answer. The bee is always working from morning to evening. They collect the honey from the flowers and store it well in the hive. They are not idle and do not spend time wastefully. So the poet calls the bee busy. Question 2. Let my first years be past. What does first years refer to? How does the poet want to spend his first years? Why does he want to do so? Answer. Here the first years refers to the early life of the poet, which means his boyhood. The poet wanted to spend his first years reading books, working or playing. He wanted to do so because it gives fruit at the end of life. Question 3. How can you say that the bee is intelligent and clever? Answer. The bee builds its hive very skillfully. The hive is beautiful to see and it has hundreds of compartments. It is strong and made up of wax, that is secreted in its body. It converts nectar into honey, which is sweet and healthy. So the poet says that the bee is intelligent and clever. Question 4. What is admirable about the work of the bee? Answer. The beehive is very beautiful to see, but it is very complicated to build. The skill of building the hive and conversion of nectar to honey are admirable works of the bee. Question 5. Why does the poet want us to be like the bee? Answer. The poet wants us to be like the bee because the bee is useful to society. We should also be helpful to society by doing good and useful work. Question 6. Why should we not keep ourselves idle? What will happen if we are idle? Answer. We should not keep ourselves idle because Satan finds some mischief and rums our life. Question 7. What is the message of the poem? Answer. The message of the poem is Kaya Cave Kailasa means we should away to do the good and useful work. Question 8. Which lines do you like the best in the poem? Give reasons for your choice. Answer. How doth the little busy bee improve each shining hour? These are the best lines in the poem because the little bee is always busy and make use of its time. It builds beautiful hives and collects honey, which is useful to man. Honey never gets spoils. Question 9. Pick out the rhyming words in the poem and add more words to each of the rhyming pairs. Answer. The rhyming words in the poem are shining opening, busy honey, our flower, bt, sell well, skill still, to do, play day. The Little Busy Bee poem summary in English. The bee is known for its work. Always it works, so it is identified as a busy bee. It builds the hive very skillfully and stores sweet honey in it. The poet's intention is, like the bee, we too must be busy and always do useful work. How does the little busy bee work? It makes good use of time. It starts work when the sun rise, i.e. in a shining hour. The worker bee starts its work by collecting honey from all the blooming flowers. All the bees collect nectar and carry it to the hive. The female worker bees are the only bees that make nectar into honey. The bees build their cell very skillfully, spread their wax neatly and work hard to store honey in the cell. The poet speaks about himself and wants us to be like a busy bee in our work. We should not be tempted to be idle or sit around doing nothing. Satan in the poem refers to the devil, or some evil being who injures the idle person. The poet wants to spend his boyhood day by reading good books, playing and doing some good and useful work. Every human being could be busy like bee and do useful work. Bees build their hives skillfully. We too should do the work with our efficient skills. The Little Busy Bee poem summary in Kannada. Thank you for watching, students. Please subscribe the channel, like and share the video.